Yeah. The first step forward in the right direction is the first step back to normal.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
What's your name?
Gabby.
Hi, Gabby. My name's
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being with us here this evening for this regularly scheduled council meeting of the Court of the Common Council of the City of Hartford of Monday, May 9th, 2022. Please be advised that this meeting is being broadcasted and recorded by Hartford Public Access Television and can be viewed via the Hartford Public Access TV Facebook page, Comcast Xfinity 96, and channel 6032 Frontier customers. Without further ado, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilman Clark.
Present.
Councilman Gale.
Here.
Councilwoman Hercules.
Present.
Councilman LeBron.
Here.
Councilman Mitchum.
Here.
Councilwoman Rosado.
Present.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Here.
Councilman Sanchez.
Present.
Councilwoman Surgeon. Councilwoman Surgeon. You have a quorum, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And I also want to welcome Mr. Eric Lusa from the Town Clerk's Office, our Town Clerk, and also from Corporation Counsel, our Attorney, Alexandra Lombardi. And now our Town Clerk will lead us on to the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alert from System UI server.
I apologize. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, good evening, everyone. I would like to make the motion that we approve the minutes of the April 25th, 2022 council meeting.
Second.
Second.
A motion has been made and properly second. Are there any comments on the meeting minutes? Any comments? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hercules.
Yes.
Councilman LeBron.
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti. Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon. Motion pass.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we place the following items on the consent calendar for tonight. Report of committees, item 3.1, Labor, Education, Workforce, and Youth Development Committee, with accompanying resolution authorizing the city to apply for, accept, and administer grants from the Connecticut Office of Early Childhood and the State Department of Education. Resolution item 4.3, a resolution in support of Eid al-Fitr as a holiday, and resolution item 4.5, which is a resolution calling for the city of Hartford to make Juneteenth Independence Day a legally recognized holiday in the city of Hartford.
Second.
Motion has been made and properly second. Are there any comments, any discussions? Any comments, any discussions? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hercules.
Yes.
Councilman LeBron.
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon. Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we refer the following items to the mentioned committees. Resolution item 4.2, a resolution to evaluate the hiring practices of the City of Hartford to the Labor, Education, Workforce, and Youth Committee. And resolution item 4.4, refer to the Operations Management, Budget, and Government Accountability Committee, which is a resolution calling for a monthly capital improvement plan, CIP reports, and monthly updates from RFPs over 25,000 issued from the procurement department.
Second.
Motion has been made and properly second. Are there any comments, any discussions? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hercules,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we take action on resolution item 4.1, which is a resolution appointing Peter Yazbek to the Hartford Revision Commission.
I second the motion.
Motion has been made and properly second. Are there any comments? Any comments, Councilman Clark?
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, there has been some issues with one would argue whether it was accountability or transparency regarding an item that is pretty much a hot topic, which is the consideration for creating a police commission in the City of Hartford. And so there are some, at the last meeting, I believe, that there were members of the Charter Revision Commission that felt that there should have been more consideration for this. One could argue that there was not enough advance notice regarding this topic that was going to be discussed, hence why there was a walkout at the last meeting, and it was reported in the Hartford Current's article in last Friday. And so I'm going to be abstaining from this vote. This has nothing, and I want to say again, this has nothing to deal with Mr. Peter Yazbek replacing former councilman and majority leader Alex Aponte. I think Mr. Yazbek is a phenomenal person, and he would do a very good job in replacing former councilman Alex Aponte. But I believe that the current members of the commission need to do some cleaning up and need to do some reconciliation and to have some further discussion before an appointment is made to fill the vacancy of this position, because I believe that the will of the people should be heard, and then there needs to be a little bit more consideration regarding creating of a police commission. Other cities in our state do have this type of a model, and I think that is something that should be heavily considered. The commission has done some phenomenal work, and from what I have been told, that there are some things that could help this body govern better and strengthen some of our powers. And I just want to say, I do not want to see that go away and go down the drain and waste our taxpayer dollars for the work that this body has done. However, again, I cannot emphasize enough that there are some things that need to be discussed and some reconciliation that needs to happen before the Charter Revision Commission proceeds and submits their recommendations to the council for consideration. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman Clark. Councilman Gale, followed by Councilman Nick LeBron.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. First, let's just be clear. The only item before council tonight is the appointment of somebody to replace a commissioner who has resigned. Frankly, I'm not really understanding Majority Leader's comments. For the commission to do its business, it seems important that it should be fully staffed. And that's all we're doing tonight. So in the first place, I don't really understand why one would decide to abstain from voting when, if you're desirous of having the commission be an effective commission, it should be, it should have the full complement. But secondly, I would just like to address a little bit of Majority Leader's comments, because I am on the commission. I'm the only member of council who is on the commission. And I take great issue with comments that there's a lack of transparency with the commission. The commission has been unbelievably transparent. I also take issue with the fact that there's any need for any reconciliation on the commission. Certain members decided in somewhat of a peevish manner that they would simply walk out of a meeting. I don't think that's how a deliberative body should be operative. I can only imagine the tensions that were involved between the states in 1787 when the Constitutional Convention was meeting in Philadelphia. You had slaveholders and you had anti-slaveholders, and they were trying to come together and work on a document that everybody could agree upon. They had bitter fights, but nobody walked out. Just because you don't carry the day does not seem to me to be a reason for you to somehow believe that it's your prerogative. I mean, well, I take it back. It is your prerogative to walk out, but I don't think that advances your cause. Stay, argue your point. Everybody's had, I mean, we've been meeting for a year now. Everybody's had plenty of opportunity to argue their points. The fact that they didn't carry the day, that's democracy. You have to move on. In any event, back to the matter at hand, we're simply voting a replacement. I've seen the man's resume, certainly seems qualified. I know it's someone, I don't recall whose pick it is, but I know that the way this commission was formed, individuals had their choice. So I'm assuming whoever's choice it is approves of Mr. Yazbek, and I certainly will vote for him. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Gill. Councilman LeBron?
Yes, just a quick question, Madam President. Is Peter Yazbek?
We can't hear you, Councilman LeBron.
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay, so the question is Peter Yazbek's appointment the mayor's appointment? That is because Alexander Aponte was the mayor's appointment. Is that correct? So this is the mayor. Yeah.
So no, this council body does the appointments of the board. We did take recommendations as a courtesy from the mayor's office and from the treasurer's office. And so this was one of the, Alexander Aponte was a recommendation from the mayor's office that I put forward. So like we all know, he no longer resides in the city of Hartford and provided me with a resignation letter. And the recommendation was that Peter be put forward. So like Councilman Gill stated, this resolution is just to replace a member who had to resign. Unfortunately, we lost another resident of the city of Hartford, Attorney Aponte.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Are there any other comments, Councilman Mixtum?
Thank you, Madam President. I'm gonna join Councilman Clark in abstaining, and I just want to respond a little bit to Councilman Gale's comment, because I think he poses good questions. So I wanted to answer them. I think it's true. We are just appointing someone to replace Sim. So in that sense, there's nothing wrong with Peter Yazbek. I agree. He's perfectly qualified. But the fact of the matter is that the commission is in some little bit of turmoil, let us say. We can talk about who's right and who's wrong, but I think when in this city something happens that causes all the Black members of the commission to walk away, and these are folks with long history in civic life, I think they take their role seriously, that needs to be addressed by the folks who didn't walk away. And this is the only opportunity I think we as council have to comment on the thing, at least until the commission's recommendations come back to us for a vote. And I would note, Councilman Gale mentioned the Constitutional Convention. Delaware, Connecticut, New Jersey and New York threatened to walk away unless they got equal representation in the Senate, which is why we all have 2 senators, large states and small. That's how that deal got done. So sometimes you do, when you see the thing not working right, when you see meetings that are happening outside of the main body of the thing, and at least what's alleged is maybe the mustering of votes and the changing of agendas to make things go a certain way, I think it is worth walking away, and that's worth saying.
Thank you, Councilman Mixtum. Councilwoman Tiana Hercules.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, just to echo the sentiments of Majority Leader and my colleague, Councilman Mitchum, regarding my abstention from this vote, just given what I've learned about what's going on with the commission, certainly nothing negative towards Mr. Yazbek, but there are some concerning issues that have come to light that I think need to be addressed.
Thank you, Councilwoman Hercules. And what I'll have to say is, I totally agree with the comments from Councilman Gale on this. The commission will have to figure this out. But I do know for a fact, like in any other meeting, that minutes, notes take place throughout the month before they have a meeting at the charter revision. So, you know, in my opinion, there's been plenty of times, like Councilman Gale said, this has been going on for over a year. We agree to disagree on this council body. We do not get up and leave because we don't like how a vote went. So with that said, the charter revision would have to work itself out. But for business purposes in this meeting is to appoint someone who resigned from the board. Councilman Clark, did you have a comment?
I did, but Councilman Sanchez did raise his hand, so I yield my time without the opportunity to, and I would like to speak, sorry, I would like to speak after Councilman Sanchez provides his comments.
Councilman Sanchez, I apologize, I didn't see your hand.
That's okay, through you, Madam President. I'm just, you know, I'm here listening to, you know, some great statements, comments. I definitely agree with Councilman Gale and also with Councilman Mixtum. And thank you for that, for educating me a little bit about the possible walkout back in those days. But the fact is, they didn't walk out. They were able to negotiate. And you know, I just can't help but feel like this is also a protest as well, not just, you know, abstaining. And, you know, in my eyes, this is a seat that has become vacant, and only because of the person relocating, nothing more, nothing less. And it is our responsibility to make sure that this commission is fully staffed. And this is why I'm supporting the appointment of Pete Yazbek. He is a great person, level-headed, Hartford resident, always serving the community. And I just feel that it's our responsibility to support this commission by making sure that it is filled with the staffing that's required. And if the other 5 still do not want to be a part of this commission, we need to fill those seats immediately and move on. Because it's not about me, it's not about us, it's about our residents and our constituents, our families and our friends. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Majority Leader Clark.
Thank you, Madam President. Again, I want to emphasize the fact that I have nothing at all against Mr. Yazbek. I have no doubt in the world that he will serve greatly on this commission. In fact, if my voting count is accurate, he will be confirmed tonight by this body. However, I want to urge my council colleagues to speak to all those commissioners, majority who were Black, that walked out in protest. These are some of the most astute, intelligent people that reside in this city, that vote, that we have charged to be on this body. There was a reason why they decided to boycott/protest. And I want us to really speak to them regarding the fact of why they chose to do so. They didn't do so just because they didn't get their way. They did it because of a reason and by things that have been discussed that they felt that there is some level of injustice that has taken place. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman Clark. And hopefully I can have a conversation with you offline and you can inform me of those side conversations that you've been informed about so that I can further have more knowledge because no one has come forward and had those conversations with me. With that said, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilman Clark,
Abstain.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hercules,
Abstain.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum,
Abstain.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilman Surgeon. Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. That concludes our business for this evening. I want to invite everyone to join us tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Where we will continue our budget presentations for this week. Tomorrow we'll have HPA, and I apologize, my screen went blank. HPA, the Finance Department, and the Management and Budget presentation tomorrow. So I welcome you all to join us virtually. Councilman Sanchez?
No, that's the question I was waiting for, the answer to my question. Virtual.
Yes.
All virtual tomorrow, right?
All virtual, yes. We have some staff and council members that are feeling under the weather. We've had council members that have had COVID, and so, or family members that have been sick, and I want to thank our public for understanding. We did have presentations in person. Again, we want to do whatever it is that we need to do in order to interact with the public. I know that Councilman Tiana Hercules did text me on that. And so I didn't take this decision lightly to go back virtual, but it's in the best interest of everyone. So with that, thank you everyone so much. Have a great evening, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
My pleasure.
Bye.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.